Welcome to Unbiased and on the Fence. I'm Shane. Thank you guys so much for joining us for the Power of 8 at 8. How are you doing, Eileen?
I'm doing great. Little tired from the festivities. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine. We don't do much sparklers and stuff. That's about it, because I picture like a little firecracker. I got to put on both of us. A little firecracker, and it's like a rolled up dollar. It just blows up the money, It's just...
Oh. Okay, I haven't seen those, but we just...
No, I'm saying that's how I see it. It seems like such a waste of money,
It's
like
you're lighting $20 bills on fire, right? Those big ones.
Plus, our neighbors, we have some neighbors that spent, thousands of dollars because they got those big ones that are like $50 a pop, and they're putting on their own show, and we had fun. We went and parked on this hill and looked across town, and you could see all of these fireworks every direction, and it was just so crazy.
That's perfect. I just sit home. I'm dog watcher for firework night, and then
do they freak out?
They not as bad as the bigger one did, who was half Chow, half Aussie Shepherd, and she used to just dissolve in pure panic. And she had to be rehomed. We got her a nice home in Minnesota, which doesn't have as much thunder as we get down here. We get real rollers of thunder. It's so scary sounding sometimes.
I love it.
I do too.
So
we didn't drink. We just swam a lot and ate a lot. And I think the food coma does the same as the hangover. You know?
Yeah, definitely. So I wanted to give a few minutes for people to get in here, but I've got a new Mandela effect that I came across this morning. Gosh, what's
awesome?
Recall vector.
Recall vector.
Did you see his newest one?
No, I've been off people's videos for 2 days.
Sherry sent it to me this morning, and wow, I can't believe this one. I want to get everyone's opinion before I say exactly what
cool. So maybe we should talk about something till we get more people in the room and then lay it on them.
Exactly.
I see you're wearing a Mandela effect shirt because I can see the top of Darth.
Yeah.
Darth Vader. Somebody said an actor. No, the writer. The
screenwriter.
Yeah, the screenwriter of Life is Like a Box of Chocolates said he wrote it. Life is like a box of chocolates. So finally somebody coming forward responsible to validate that our memories are correct.
Yeah, and probably has no idea that it's changed. Why would it change? So
why would it change? And sometimes when it's an is and a was and a the and a this or these, I can barely tell when I listen to it.
Yeah. Just the sound of it, you mean?
Those are super subtle. Yeah.
Oh, right. So,
it's hard for me to catch them.
Like Sex in the City.
Sex and the City.
Sounds almost exactly the same.
It does, but there's a really good video out there by somebody who shows all the Emmys that they won, and they won like a gazillion Emmys. So every time he would just back up one announcement after another that said Sex in the City, Sex in the City, Sex in the City. And after you hear a dozen of them, you're like, yeah, that's in. That's not Sex and the City. He just put 15 of them in a row.
For me, it was visual and just knowing what it was, what it had read. Not so much the sound of it. See, it's hard to tell if somebody's saying it, if they're saying it right, but knowing...
Moral.
Yeah, exactly.
Potato.
So that sort of gets into how I feel like, a lot of people feel like we're jumping timelines and stuff, and I always go back to, I feel like it's a single timeline that's getting edited, and that's kind of one of those reasons why, because you'll look at the screenwriter, for instance, that he, of course, the first thing that's going to pop in your head is, oh my gosh, he's from my universe or my timeline.
Right.
But as soon as if you were to sit down with somebody like that, you will have things you don't agree with as well.
Yeah, exactly. You and I don't share everything, but we share a lot of Mandela effects, but not all of them.
But it doesn't seem like anyone matches completely 100%, you know?
You're the one who stuck in my ear merging timelines. And I felt like, yeah, maybe timelines are getting squashed together for some reason. So there's a little of that timeline with a little of that timeline.
Yeah, that makes more sense to me when you see stuff like that thinker where people are posing next to the thinker in the original pose with the thinker in the background and the new pose. And you would think that's more of a merging than a splitting, because if you jumped off of one train into the other one, those people would have always matched everything that's there, right?
Yeah, you're the one who noticed that first, and you probably noticed it through art. It's harder to notice through the written word or body changes. But I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I sense, I feel a gnosis with merging timelines. And then I was watching, some science stuff when the YouTube just rolls through and you've put it on autoplay and you're working on other stuff or cleaning the house or picking up after the dogs or whatever. And they were talking about the theory where the universe expands. And then, of course, there's a theory it expands into nothingness. And then there's the theory where it expands and then it contracts. And I'm like, oh, maybe we're in the contraction part now. So maybe we're on that cusp. And we are on the cusp between Pisces and the age of Aquarius as well, right?
Yeah.
We're on the cusp of a new yuga, a Kali yuga, I believe. We're either leaving it. I think we're leaving the Kali yuga. And that's from Hindu mysticism. And the Mayan calendar ended at the same time. There's a lot of coincidences there, synchronicities, not coincidences, that's coincidences. And I'm like, what if that we're noticing, we're aware that the universe is starting to contract? And if it's contracting, why would it multiple dimensions kind of get squished in one place?
That's a good point. When I think of the merging, I'm thinking what if it's the merging of the ages, you know?
Why did the
The
New Age just
overlapping.
start in like 2010 was the beginning
Yeah.
of the New Age and the end of the Mayan calendar?
And then those who have been seeing it longer, maybe they're just more in tune to picking up those subtle, like before it got strong in 2012, because
And it was
it's not a
subtly
switch
merging.
being flipped. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's not like
yeah.
a specific time a switch was flipped. It's more of a gradual. You see that in like zodiac signs with people. So you'll see if someone's sort of on the edge, they'll have a little bit of,
Of both.
right, yeah. Or if
But
they're
see,
right
my
in the
mom,
middle,
my mom saw Mandela Effect. She was the only one in the 60s and 70s. And we just thought her memory was really bad because she was an avid reader of the National Enquirer, the Globe, all those newspapers that were trashy. They were all gossip thingies at the cash register.
yeah.
And, she would get like 3 or 4 of them a week. She was retired housewife, and she had plenty of time to read those. So when a celebrity died, if they had died before, she knew it. She knew when they died and where their funeral was and what their widow or widower wore. She was specific. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it is.
So we got 40 some odd people in here. All right, let's present this Mandela
Okie
effect. For
dokie.
those who haven't seen the Recall Vector video, you can go over there and check it out. How many of you guys watched the whole O.J. Simpson police chase? Did you see it live? I mean,
I saw it many, many, many times on repeat and live.
Okay, so for those of you who have seen the O.J. Simpson police chase and the white Bronco and all that,
White Bronco. I thought they were going to change the car.
do you guys remember who was driving the Bronco?
It was OJ and he was alone. Am I wrong?
Hold on a second.
It was JFK. It was Jackie. Blame it on Jackie.
Chime in, you guys. Who was driving the car? Was he alone, or was someone else driving the car?
What? I thought it was little old OJ all by himself, just going 55 miles an hour for a 7-hour chase. He never got up to 100, did he? It was the slowest police chase ever.
I even said, I'm like, it doesn't look like he's trying to get away from him, really.
He's
He's
going
just,
slow.
I guess he was minimizing
Speed
the.
limit.
Yeah, he's minimizing the laws he was breaking, I guess.
Exactly. And of
Yeah.
course, they closed off all the roads. So he was all alone.
Yeah.
So of course he was driving. I'm going to stick with that. Because who would he get to drive away a fugitive from justice? Who would put themselves in that position, even for OJ?
Yeah. Marianne says, I remember OJ, white Bronco. Oh, that's interesting, Magic Sister. She says someone else was driving a blonde guy.
Blonde guy.
Yeah, you remember the actor that lived with him? So you think he was driving the car? I remember him.
Keto. Wasn't his
Yeah,
name Keto, like the diet?
keto.
Keto.
Something, yeah, something like that. He was like an aspiring actor or something,
Yeah.
like a friend. Wow, Karen says his friend was driving it. Alone on the phone, April says. That's exactly what I
Alone
remember.
on the phone.
Okay, so he was alone on the phone, is how I remember it. The
Me
person
too.
he was talking to on the phone was a friend, and now that friend he was talking to on the phone is now driving the car. He's sitting in the back seat holding a gun to his head.
No way. No way. He was in the front seat. He was not in the back seat, and there was no word of holding a gun to his head.
Yeah, that's the report now, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And even okay, so here's where it gets into other differences that they found that I don't know were that I don't know for sure is a Mandela effect. Okay, so it's like if the gloves don't fit, acquit. Do we all remember that?
Gloves don't fit, acquit.
Exactly. And then there was like this on the front of all the newspapers. I'm trying to put the glove on. It was like to here. Now the Mandela effect part of this is that he gets the gloves on, but not only does he get the glove on, they don't fit very well, and I'm not sure if that part of it's the Mandela effect, but he's wearing rubber gloves underneath the gloves he's trying on. Do you remember like white surgical gloves, and he's
No.
trying to
But I
pull
only
the
saw him with the glove half on his hand, covering. If he did have rubber gloves on to not tamper with the evidence inside the glove, I
right?
wouldn't see it. I would only
Okay,
see a picture of him with the glove like sticking half off of his hand.
so that's still a clip now. So if you watch the whole thing, he first tries to put it on, and he's got it, and it's sticking up, and that's the picture I remember, except for you can see a white rubber surgical glove, like you know.
Yeah, I wonder if they white airbrushed that out. Because I was like, hey, if I tug on that, I can make that fit. That's how I felt when I saw it. And they were really trying to whitewash this whole thing and go, no, he didn't do it. No, he's a celebrity. He's a sports star. How could he kill anybody? You know?
Yeah. Jane is saying, I remember his friend was driving, and his friend was on the phone telling the police that he is suicidal. See,
Wow.
that's what I'm talking about. That's definitely not the history I remember.
I just remember OJ on his own. The juice is on the run. The juice is on the run. Do you remember all those headlines?
So the guy that was driving went to jail, too.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, he should. He's transporting a fugitive. No wonder he did the speed limit. Did he get
So
out? Yeah, 30 days. 60 days he was out.
if you've got somebody with a gun in the back of their head, that to me is like, you know, you do what that person says in the car until you can, you know, if they're saying take me home, then you
Yeah.
expect that the police are going to be there. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do kind of do what you need to do to keep the life going, the person living. But you wouldn't
So
go rob a bank, but some people do. They're like, oh, my family, they got my family. I got to go rob this bank. Yeah, you're right.
that's interesting. So some people remember it the way it currently is, like we were just talking. So that's like,
Well, also right before the show started, we were talking about the book. The book is in Shane's hot little hands for production, layout, design, illustrations, artwork, book cover. The book cover looks awesome. I don't know if you want to flash people the book cover. Even the first
I don't have it ready.
cover out of the gate was awesome. And we were saying, okay, facts. Magnetosphere scattered, pulled, torn off the planet for some reason. You know, NASA says, oh, there's a big planet out there past Neptune tilting the whole solar system, and other scientists go, no, it's Nemesis, the second sun's coming around. Something's tugging on the solar system, tilting it about 6 to 7 degrees off the kilter of the plane of the galaxy. So galaxy's here, the solar system's like that, and it shouldn't be. It should be even, right? And our magnetosphere is getting sucked off, allowing more gamma rays, more cosmic rays, more sun rays, more radiation to get through. So Vanessa did a really cool illustration that you have to redesign for
already done.
copyright reasons, right? That's the only reason, where the magnetosphere is getting sucked away. We won't say why. That allows the Schumann resonance to rise and spike, because if you read everything, they tie the Schumann resonance directly to the magnetosphere. And when the Schumann resonance rises, it's the tone and the frequency that the Earth makes. That wave interferes with our brain waves, right?
Heartbeat of the Earth. Yeah.
Makes us see the Mandela effect, but it doesn't necessarily, it could also make it cause the Mandela effect because there's not enough magnetosphere to protect our matter where we can hold our matter steady. So it's always Sex in the City. And CP3 always has gold legs, really important stuff like that. Maybe the magnetosphere holds it in place. We create it with our thoughts, and then the magnetosphere kind of sticks it like glue. And if you suck off that magnetosphere and you raise the Schumann resonance, not only do our brain waves go wonky, but matter goes wonky.
Mm-hmm. People's name change. I was just talking about.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool? Okay, so we had Joel Osteen, right? And then it went to Joel Osteen. How cool would it be if we can get his name to switch to Joe Osteen and just get rid of the
How about Joel Osteen?
Oh, man.
I mean, I don't know.
That'd be something.
I mean,
no, he's always been Joe Osteen.
He's always been Joe Osteen. Osteen. Everybody remembers Osteen, don't they? Take another poll in the comments.
Yeah, do you guys remember Osteen? Those of you that know the preacher, the big mega church in Texas and Houston.
But not old, not with a D, just with an L. Joe Osteen.
Yeah, Osteen now. Yeah, but it was Osteen for sure for me. But what was the other one that
I mean, Sally Fields. Everybody knows Sally Fields. And there's lots of video residue with Johnny Carson going, here comes Sally Fields. And then there's her winning the Oscar, Sally Fields. So we've got plenty of residue to prove she was a Fields and not a Field.
So that's funny that Sally Fields lost her S. Sally's Beauty Supply lost its S. She also had the change where you love me. You really love me.
You really love
me. What is it?
You like me now. You really like me now.
Yeah, something like that.
It's like if you could go back and rewrite your past and erase the most embarrassing moment of your life. She just did that.
That's funny. And then, of course, she is, we talked about it right before, right at the beginning, Forrest Gump's mom in the movie Forrest Gump.
Oh, the Tom Hanks, Sally Fields connections are freaky.
Several Tom Hanks, several Sally Fields or Sally, a couple of Sally Fields. And then, just all the connections with Darth Vader. Yeah, Darth Vader, James Earl Jones played in Field of Dreams. And so there's this constant thread you can kind of follow through.
Oh, Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
And Kevin Costner. Yeah. I'm a Costner. Are you a Costner? And now
I'm definitely
a Costner now, a Cosner.
100% did not have a T in my history. I just came.
Oh, I'm a T person. I'm a Costner, and I'm
same way with Costco.
I'm a Costco.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
So you're from the T timeline.
I'm from the T time. I'm from the T timeline.
That's wild. And it's funny because it makes more sense. Costco, I guess, in a way,
Cost company, Costco, keep your costs down.
I mean,
it could be a bad memory that I thought that it should be Costco and maybe it never was. So sometimes my memory is not 100%, and I recognize that. I do not feel like everything that could be a Mandela effect is a Mandela effect because I'm confused. I wait till other people get confused about it, and then I think it's a Mandela effect because I've got company.
Exactly. Let me ask you guys, let me see if you guys are like us. I'm definitely without the T for Costco and Costner. she's got the T in there.
Yep.
They agree with each other. Is there anybody that remembers Costner but Costco or vice versa?
Yeah, where the T's in one but not both.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to know.
That's a very scientific question of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one of those wonderings,
Yeah.
There's no T. No, there's a T in Costco, but many people remember it not having a T.
So I guess what we're asking is, are you guys all both no T and both with a T, or do you guys kind of mix it up a little bit?
They both have T's now. So if you agree with the current reality on both of them. Okay, so no. Miranda says she remembers Costner and then Costco.
Okay, good. So now we know you can mix your T's up.
And Elizabeth remembers Costco, but Costner. Okay, that's the same. She just wrote it back.
So, what if I and a bunch of other people like me misremembered Costco and we put the T in? What if it reached the 100th monkey where there were enough people misremembering the truth, which was Costco, so the T appeared?
It's such a fascinating thing, but and it's always changing. There's always so much to look into, and I'm so glad for all of the Mandela Effect channels that really research this stuff. Just not just channels, but there's so many people that investigate it and then contribute to the channels, and I think it's great.
That business guy, you played that video, didn't you? Or you put me onto that video.
Exactly, yeah. So there's so much going on there, and I really appreciate that, because if they weren't doing it, I would be doing it. The only reason I'm able to let it go is because I know that I'll hear about it on one of the many channels I watch, and I don't have to spend a lot of time on it, because it's a huge never-ending rabbit hole, because stuff's always changing.
Every day stuff is changing. So Teresa, Residue Hunters, is always in there looking everywhere for residue, isn't she? And she feeds it to other people, to her Facebook page, to Brian McFarlane, and comes on and chats with, she pops in our conversation once in a while.
Your sister Leslie says,
oh, hi, Leslie.
She agrees with you on both of them. Maybe it's genetic.
What's that, the T? Are you a Costner and a Costco? Okay.
Yep. Definitely.
Great mind. Yeah, because we're so close. We're 6 years apart, but we think a lot alike. Oh, Marcy, man, we've got real telepathy going on, especially lately. It's like our telepathy is increasing.
Oh, for sure. It's been really crazy lately. Yeah. Really crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's actually getting to the point now, things were happening accidentally. So like I mentioned, like April sending me a message right when I was thinking about her, and I got the message right then. But now it's like where I realize that I'm thinking about what happens next. So I'm starting to be able to discern that, oh, this is a telepathic hit. It's about to happen, or you know what I mean? And so it's really ramping up a lot lately. And I was wondering if it's just the energies, or because I've been doing a lot of BQHs and I've been like,
I think it's the BQH it's been in these energies. Too, huh? Yeah, I think it's what you're doing inside of these energies that you're amping yourself up.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, it is. I'm doing intentions now with my sister, with Lynne McTaggart's year-long class with a bunch of strangers, but they're not strangers anymore. Mm-hmm. And we do that on a Tuesday night, and then we started a private one that we do on a Thursday night, and then we get together and do the group for the world on Saturday night. So Leslie and I, Tips and Healthy Aging, we are intending 3 days a week. 3 days a week. And all these little annoying things are healing for me. You know, the leaky bucket?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't mind my tinnitus. I said that was the universe communicating with me. And we did a healing for a woman in our group. Sister's tinnitus was keeping her up at night. Boom, mine was gone. I kind of missed it. I was like, oh, I'm not hearing my frequencies anymore. And now I get it like once a month.
Yeah, I don't get it constantly. I guess it would be sort of a nuisance, I guess, if it was on constantly.
And for then me, go on.
I was going to say it usually just lasts a few seconds. So it comes on and it just fades out until I can't hear it anymore.
Oh, you mean like you don't go to sleep at night and hear it just ringing and ringing and ringing until you put on a meditation video?
No, thank goodness.
I timed mine on the tone generator at just around 10,000 hertz. It's quite high and loud. Really high. I swear my husband could hear it out of my ear. I'm like, can you hear this? Can you hear this? Because it was so loud. And he'd be like, yeah, I can. And I know, I don't think I'm generating the tone. I think I'm just hearing the tone. I don't know.
Right.
But a wonky knee that wasn't too bad. I live on the 3rd story, no elevator, to keep my knee healthy because it got banged in a car accident and the bones inside got bruised. And there's nothing they could do about it. So they said, the more you exercise that knee, the stronger it will remain. So I take the stairs many times a day, walking dogs, going to the store, whatever. And at some point with this constant intending that we're doing, that pain completely disappeared. Because even though I kept it active and moving, it always hurt going down the steps. The going down just gave it a little too much pressure than the going up. The going up was easier. And
yeah, that slowing yourself down is pretty
painful.
Tough. Yeah.
It's like a little
I've
crash.
hurt myself on accident a few times, like where your knee just pops and it hurts because you were like trying to lower yourself slower or whatever.
Yep. Yep. Just too
Um,
much pressure going down.
just to because you did that with the 10,000 hertz, I wanted to go back to that.
Uh-huh.
When I had the dual ringing in each ear, I did the tone generator and I found out one was 1,600 and the other one was 2,000.
They were
Much lower
in
than what you're hearing.
harmony. And yet the 2000 and the 16,000 is quite high when you think.
1,600.
Okay, the 1600 and the 2000 is quite high when you think the Earth is at 7.8 and the brain goes up to 100, right?
Mm-hmm.
At its fastest. So, but mine at 10,000, that's 30 years of ear ringing. So I might have started out at 1,000. And after, in 1990,
Mm-hmm.
10, 20. So almost 30 years later, maybe it just increases and increases and increases.
They did harmonize too. It was hard to distinguish the two of them because they were they blended well. They weren't clashing. You know what I mean?
That's
The
cool.
two tones.
Like I have a bowl here. I have two bowls. I have a bowl for the crystal bowl for the pineal gland and for the solar plexus. And I got them, I think they're from China though. I got them on Amazon with a case and a thing to play them.
Oh, are you going to bring it? Or
I could
probably
bring
hard.
one, but I think if I brought two,
Yeah, it'd be too
I
hard.
might break one. And then they're so strict on carry-on.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I'm thinking.
We need somebody you can mail it to there or something. That would be.
I was just thinking of bringing maybe the pineal gland one because all of us for that kind of a weekend will be meditating and opening up our third eye. And, the solar plexus one can stay home.
Yeah, that's true.
But when you play them together, you would think that they would clash. And they really sound good together.
Yeah, we had them all going. We were trying to, get one ringing and set it down in a little ring thing and then grab another one and try to keep them going. And,
It's hard to keep them going.
It is. We had a blast trying, though. We were like little kids. It was so fun.
Was this in Arizona or in Sedona?
It was the Austin one.
The Austin.
Yeah.
Texas. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
Texas.
Arizona, Texas.
Yeah, New Year's.
How fun.
Yeah. It really was over at Angie S.'s place.
But I'm bringing my meteorite collections. It's not huge, but I have like a dozen pieces from all over the universe. So
That's
everybody
awesome.
can hold them. I'll go into a meditation room and then everybody can play. I've got a little bit of moon rock, little piece of Mars, a bunch of different meteors. I've got the meteor gem.
How did they get the pieces of Mars back here?
They actually analyze it based on its content, based on its chemistry. And they're
Okay, so it was like
a Mars rock. It just
okay, so
dust.
it's a meteor. It fell here, so it wasn't like they went there and picked it up and brought it back. It was
No, but the moon rock is. The moon rock was taken from the moon, but the Mars rock fell to Earth.
Interesting. Is it pretty red?
It is a little red.
Does it look like sort of like the reddish clay that we find here on Earth?
It looks darker. It looks like rusted iron.
Oh, wow.
And kind of brown.
From the lack of oxygen in the
From the lack of, I don't know.
Yeah.
And of course I have to believe because it was certified and expensive that it's real. I choose to think it's real and it could be phony, right? It could just be a little piece of earth rock,
3D printer, huh?
But I'll tell you that, 3D printer. But isn't everything from a 3D printer made of paper or plastic? Plastic.
They have different types of plastic. They have these little pellets that go into the machine, and so if you need it to be more flexible, then you use a certain type that's more, flexible. But sometimes if you're making, say, a crescent wrench, you want it to be more rigid and hard, not flex at all, So you'll use a different material, but it's more brittle too. So it's like metal, You can have something that's more pliable or something that's more rigid, but it will typically break under stress. So.
And how are they doing body parts in a 3D printer?
Now those, I believe they're actually putting tissue in there somehow or something.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they get the DNA of the person and then they come up with the 3D ink or whatever they call it.
It's like that Westworld. I could only watch one season. It got too sad and scary and bloody for me. I was like, poor robots, robots matter, you just don't hurt the robots, And that's what they wanted. They basically wanted us to feel that, which is good, that the robots were being violated and they needed their rights, right? Rights for robots. I'm just texting my daughter the water is boiling on the stove and I don't want to get up and turn it off.
So, let me think. We were talking about Westworld. Yeah, I watched a recap of it. Somebody told me to watch it, and I was like, I don't want to watch all of this or whatever.
Too bloody.
Well, it was too much of trying to get you to think, what would I do if I could get away with anything? Sort of a, you know what I mean? That's like
I would do nothing but like get a mansion with a pool and have margaritas by the pool every day. That's what I would do. I wouldn't steal, cheat, kill, murder. Anything debauched, you know.
Right.
How about you? What would you do if you could do anything? Like the world was right there and they said, okay, this is empty. Fill it with whatever you want.
Is that what it is? It's like limitless? Probably.
It's not. Ours, it should be, but they have like sections where it's like Disney and you go to Westworld and you're in the Wild Wild West. So you can shoot a cowboy, you can rob a bank, you can go up with, you know, a woman of the night in the saloon. You can do whatever you want.
I don't know. I don't see myself going to a place like that. Yeah.
I don't either.
I see myself going to the pyramids or something in Egypt in real life, not, you know.
Yeah.
Unless it's a perfect replica. Yeah.
It'd be pretty scary though if you clicked it back to the pharaonic days, because I saw a documentary on what those pharaohs got up to and it was not pretty. I'm telling you, they were not good people. The ones
all
that
of us were bad. I'm just
kidding. I mean, not the ones that like ruled Egypt for 300 years.
Right.
They were literally killing all their relatives, like you do, to become the king or the queen, and then marrying their brothers and their uncles and their sisters and their moms. And I'm like, huh? To rule, must you be completely insane? Is that what you're trying to tell me in this documentary? And I'm not insane and I will not be a ruler?
If I did, I guess it'd be like if I could, I don't know, replicate another place and go visit. Like, it would be cool, like say, like go to the Avatar place, for instance. You know, what was that place called? Pandora or whatever.
Everybody really emotionally connected to that film.
I love that place. I would if I had a Westworld type of thing, I would probably go there. Maybe even have those six-legged dog things chase me and stuff.
Six-legged dog from Pandora?
You remember how it's like they evolved with 6 legs instead of 2 or 4?
You know, there is a philosophy, and I'm not sure if it's Kant or somebody else, who says if you can imagine it, it exists. It may not exist in your reality, but the fact that you can imagine it means that somewhere it is real, because the human being is not yet God and cannot imagine that which does not yet exist. Isn't that a cool philosophy?
That's really interesting.
Because that would mean that somewhere in the universe, our universe, Pandora exists with all those traits and colors and animals and people, and James Cameron just clicked into it beyond the earth consciousness, beyond human collective consciousness. He got out into universal collective consciousness and just drew in all these ideas and stories and colors and peoples and the tree. I love those little pink floaty things, you know.
Okay, so this is pretty good because of what you're saying there. Because I've had it where I like thought of an invention, and then, you know, of course I didn't do anything with it, and then it pops up. So it's like in the consciousness, right? So, and with telepathy coming online, this is probably somebody's already working on this. But if not, I'm not going to do it. So if you're
giving it to all of us,
and you have the means of doing this, this will be totally awesome. Okay.
Okay, we're ready.
So it used to be you go to concerts, everybody had their lighters, right? Now you go and everybody has like their phones. And sometimes they'll turn it around and have the flashlight part going so it's really bright or whatever. But so the idea was, just like a television is made up of pixels, if everybody at the concert with a phone installed an app on their phone that they like log in to the concert hall that they're in, they put their seat number in that they're at, they can actually all create one gigantic display. So you could have like the wave go across the crowd, you know, from phone to phone to phone, or create one gigantic picture, maybe the album cover, and it's like everybody's phone is a pixel, just the pixel of the image, and it all, you know, everybody holds their phones up. So I thought it'd be cool to do something like that.
That's a great idea. That's like that, not crowdsourcing. What's it called when you do a crowd dance? You know, where people just show up in a mall.
Yeah.
They all start dancing.
Mob?
Flash Flash mob.
Flash mob. Yeah.
That's what it would be at the concert. It would tell you when to hold it up and what your picture was that you were participating in.
Wouldn't that be cool though?
That would be very cool.
Because they wouldn't have to, they could have stars or whatever. I mean, it would just make up a picture. You couldn't tell what was going on. I mean, you'd have a red square, a blue square, whatever on your phone. You can't tell what it is. You'd have to see the
But then maybe
overall
on the
picture.
screen they could open up the app and they would show you on the screen a picture of the concert hall.
Yeah.
And you would see what you were drawing because the individual wouldn't show you, would it?
No. Or you could look at the big screens up by the stage and they would show the crowd.
So I think that's a great idea. And I think you're right. Now that you've said it, it's going to happen. It's going to be out there. And the person who does it might have heard or might not have. They might have tapped in.
Or I picked up on them.
Or you picked up on them. It's this connected consciousness thing.
Yeah, that'd be really neat. Flash mob. Thank you, Biker Babe.
Flash mob, biker.
So awesome.
I have a little story for you guys.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I'm a little bit hyped up to talk to you, and I have a sore neck because I have spent 2 days, 24 hours a day for 2 days in video production. So now I have total sympathy for you because you used to do these things all the time. And you'd say, oh my God, I spent a week on that one. You know what I mean? And I like researched it and I'm like, where did I hear them say this? And then you have to go through 100 videos to find the video clip that you're looking for that you saw like a year ago, right?
Yeah.
You remember seeing it, you know who said it, but now YouTube presents you with, thousands of options to open to find that one little video clip that you're looking for from somebody famous. So it's all tied in with our ESETI trip and contact in the community and your forum. And, it's just like, there's a lot going on right now because the contact community, more on Twitter than on YouTube with SMQAI, because he's got an insider, but we haven't we've seen some indications that it is a government insider, but then, not to be mean, SMQ, because I love your show and I love Chick, and he just covers everything really well. Very fair, very open about different opinions, very scientific, very serious. And I was like, if you only have 7,000 subscribers, why would the government give you a handler? And your handler is basically the person who says, hey, psst, in your ear, I'm the insider. I'm going to feed you information that's secret that nobody else knows. But really, it's because the government wants to keep an eye on you and make sure you push out certain things, right?
Exactly.
That's the theory. That's the theory, whether it's David Wilcock who has an insider or SMQ or anybody. And we're like, wow, you only have to have 7,000 subscribers to get an inside contact. And then he's really big on Twitter, trying to keep people from our community are involved over there too, lots of us. Mm-hmm. And he said, watch the 4th of July speech and watch the July 5th President Trump speaks to Tucker Carlson on Fox. He was really specific. And he said it to the contact community. And sure enough, the thing that was mentioned in this very long speech was just that he's going to build a Space Force, as well as the Air Force and the Army and the Marines and the Navy. And anybody I missed, I'm sorry if I've missed you. And we're going to go to Mars. That's all. Just 2 comments. And then he was on Tucker Carlson the next day, July 5th. And it was really interesting because Tucker Carlson, this proves that SMQAI's contact in the government is really working in the government. I'm sorry, but it's not like Q, where we're like, is there a Q? Isn't there a Q? Sometimes it's kind of like flimsy, the connections, and sometimes it's not. Well, he said, watch Tucker Carlson on the 5th of July. And sure enough, Tucker asked him, I think for the first time ever, do you believe in aliens? Do you think aliens are real? And, he was like, well, I don't know, not necessarily, but it's possible. He was like a really good unbiased and on the fence participant because he was like, well, maybe, no big deal. But it wasn't what we expected. We expected him to go, hell yeah, I believe in aliens. Look at all that video footage that they've just released from the Air Force, right? Mm-hmm. All that's all over the place. You can actually see Army footage and Air Force footage of them chasing these things, right? And he didn't take that route. So we were like, interesting that he kind of sat on the fence with it, but he didn't deny it, because you had like Obama going, yeah, I think there's aliens. You had Clinton, crazy for aliens, Bill, right? He kept saying, they don't tell me. If you saw him on all the TV programs, he's like, I want to know. I want to be in the loop. So it was really interesting because it's always been known within the community that the people who control the narrative of contact are well above the president's pay grade. So I don't know if that confirms it or doesn't confirm it, but at least it confirmed that the contact who's slipping information SMQAI's way is actually for real. Because he told them about 2 upcoming things with the president to pay attention to, and they were spot on. Not shocking information, no great revelations, but they were accurate.
Somebody last night said they were kind of disappointed. They were hoping for more on the 4th of July. I haven't even followed that, to be honest with you, so I have no idea. So.
Yeah, it's the heavy-duty contact communities following it, and he was supposed to say something shocking. But, we don't know if the Space Force really is just to make all of space American space or international space, or if it's to get lasers and weapons up there to kind of like blast these visiting aliens out of our space. We don't really know what the purpose is, what's going to be built, what's going to go up there. Do you remember? You're too young. President Reagan's Star Wars. Star Wars lasers on satellites just to blast out like Russia's satellites, not to tackle aliens. But you were just.
Or I think it was the Cold War, and it was the nuclear warheads that he was.
Yeah.
Like, so in the case of a global nuclear war, these satellites could zap these things while they're outside of our atmosphere.
While they're still not above America. Yeah. And it never got made. It was too expensive and it wasn't feasible.
Supposedly.
Supposedly. And supposedly. And Reagan was the famous guy who stood in front of the United Nations and said, wouldn't it be great if we had an alien threat and then all of humanity could unite and hold hands to fight a common enemy? And of course, there have been decades and decades and decades of communication conspiracy theory. I'm a proud conspiracy theorist. I call myself a truther now. We all do, I think, about Project Bluebeam. Do you ever watch Stephen Greer about Project Bluebeam, where eventually they've planned to, after world terrorism, the next step is
alien invasion.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought that's what that was at the southern border.
Did you really?
Well, I thought it was a possibility. I mean, they've got us looking over here, but really, we've got, how many, was it 10,000 aliens trying to march and invade into the country?
It was a lot, yeah.
I mean, it still matches the alien invasion thing. It's just not how we thought.
Interesting. I never put those two together.
Yeah.
So that's what my video's on, and I spent 2 days, 48 hours.
Did you already put it up, or no?
Oh, look, it's still rendering. It's been rendering since, I think, a half an hour before the show started.
Oh, okay. I was about to say I didn't get it.
I don't even know if you can see this. There it is. That's how long they take to render. I'm really close. Can you see the red line?
Oh, yeah.
And it's been going for an hour and a half, but it's loaded with video clips and artwork. And this time I did an affected collective approach. And I let the people speak for themselves and then just threw in subtitles, commentary via subtitles. And I don't know if it's too cheeky. And if people are going to go, Eileen, that's not your style. It's too sassy. We'll see.
So it requires you to look then?
It requires you to listen. And then if you look and you see my subtitle, you'll see the sarcasm of what I'm trying to bring to your attention by picking that clip. And you probably don't need to read the subtitle. You'll catch it anyway just by hearing it. Right. And I don't plan on doing another one of these for a very long time because I have a neck ache, a back ache, and it takes up all your time. You cannot watch other videos. You can't go out and do things. Video production is a lot of work. It takes a team.
Yeah. And that's like before you even can make it, you got all the research you got to do. And then when you decide you're going to do it, then you got to figure out what clips you want to show. And
then you have to find the clips, though. If you're not a clip saver, where every time you see something of future interest, you tuck it away somewhere, you got to troll the internet and YouTube trying to find that one clip that you remember.
Yeah.
But you don't know where it was. And of course, the videos are all like, 20, 30, 40 minutes long. And you're like, I have to look at a 40-minute video. So I put it on double speed and it's like, waiting to hear the key words.
Same way with me. I have a problem finding I'm like, well, I covered that before. Let me see if I can find that video, and I can't find it amongst my own videos sometimes.
Oh, that's because you've got so many. I'm sure though they're still there. I'm sure they haven't been taken down.
No, they're there. It's just too many
I'm
to
just
look
wondering
through.
if I did the copyright disclaimer, but I'm wondering if I'm going to get hit hard on copyright because I'm using so many video clips from so many different sources, very short ones.
Yeah. I
You know,
think it has to be so long before it triggers it or something, and then it's quicker if it's got the sound too.
well, the new thing they're doing, because this is criticism, right? We're like hitting a bunch of, like, say we're movie reviewers and we do a 30-minute show, which is this 25-minute video, and we review 10 movies. And we show a tiny little snippet from each movie. What YouTube is doing is going, well, since you borrowed a snippet from them, we're going to send any monetization their way. But I don't ever monetize videos with other people's snippets in it unless it's you and me chatting, because then I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm half of it, you're half of it, and I wait a week or a month, whatever, to put it up. But
Hmm.
like if I take Veritasium's information, I'm not going to monetize it because that's his information. He produced it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But YouTube going, well, we're just going to give it to the other person, even though you used it for criticism and commentary. That would be like giving all of Siskel and Ebert's money away. Every review they ever did would go to the movies that they
Hmm.
covered. They would never get a penny.
Have you seen Yesterday? Did you hear us talking about it last night? Did you get to check that one out?
No, I haven't even
Oh,
heard.
you've been
I've
working
been
on your
offline for
videos.
2 days. Yeah.
Yeah, so the movie Yesterday, you've got to see it. Anybody who's Mandela affected, go watch that movie Yesterday. It's about, this guy who, have you seen the trailer even?
I only know the song. Is it like on
Oh,
Netflix or something? Or is it out
no,
of
it's in the theater right now. Gosh, I wish I could play the trailer, but it's got so much music in it. I definitely get a
I'll go
strike on
see
it.
the trailer after we get off for sure.
Yeah, so watch the Yesterday trailer, and then beyond that, I think it's enough. It made me want to see it just watching the
Is it a
trailer.
Mandela Effect movie?
It's not. It's definitely down the Mandela effect. Anybody who's Mandela affected will love this movie, and it's more like the Mandela effect once you go see it than you would think, just by watching the trailer. So in the trailer, it's basically this guy is playing a Beatles song, and he's a musician, and they ask like, "When did you write that?" And he's like, "I didn't write that. It's the Beatles." And then they're like, "Who's the Beatles?" And then he goes and starts looking on the internet. They don't exist.
That is so Mandela Effect
And
ish.
then while he's looking on the internet, there's a Jaws poster on the wall behind him. There's so many little hidden Easter eggs in the movie,
Wow.
and we're gonna do we're gonna do a separate video that we can put a spoiler alert
Okay.
disclaimer in the beginning of it, so that nobody watches it, or if they don't plan on watching it, then they can watch the video. But those who watch the video or movie can then watch the video after they see it, and we won't be ruining anything. But we can't really talk about anything right now because it's so brand
It's so
new.
new, it'll
We'll
ruin it for
ruin,
people.
yeah.
But I do know because I was a musician, you're a musician, my brother-in-law was a musician, and I remember learning decades ago that Yesterday was the most played song in the world. So it had the highest royalties, not royalties, but that money you get from playing music in restaurants and elevators
Hmm.
and movies. It was the highest. Is that royalty receiving song in the world was Yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, they just got a big spike again because they just named a movie after it.
Wow. Okay. I think now that you're talking about it, is the guy like Indian?
Yeah.
India? I think I saw.
His name is
I think I caught it.
Jack Malik or something like that.
Okay. I think I might have caught.
He's in the UK, but he looks like he's maybe Indian or
Yeah,
something.
there's loads of Indians and people from Pakistan
Hmm.
in the UK. That's why like Indian food is like their number one takeaway.
Yeah,
It's
his the actor's last name is Patel, which
Oh, is it
Patel.
that guy from Slumdog Millionaire then?
I don't know.
That was such a good movie. If you haven't seen that one, try to watch Slumdog Millionaire. It's about kids living on a rubbish heap, and
Hmm.
one of them like winning the Indian version of. Did you remember that? What was that show called? How
Like
to be
American Idol, or
How to Be a Millionaire, or it was where you'd sit down
oh,
and
Who
you'd have to
Wants to Be a
who
Millionaire or
wants to be a
something.
millionaire? Yeah, answer all those questions. And they got tougher and tougher and tougher and almost impossible to answer, didn't they?
Yeah, with the lifelines and all that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you know, some people like froze in the beginning. I'm like, man, I probably do that too. You know, a simple question. You know, just I know the answer, but under the pressure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I used to be that way too. Like when I was tested in school, verbally, I couldn't say things that I knew because they escaped my mind at that moment. Just the pressure
Yeah.
of standing up and having to do your times tables or a spelling bee.
Yeah, that's strange. That's why I'm glad, like with this channel, I've like eased into a lot of people watching because you know in the beginning nobody was watching, so it was no big deal, and it's really no different than other than a lot of people are watching now.
It's a lot different too because now you talk. You used to produce all your videos, and they took a lot of time. So you'd be lucky to get 1 or 2 out a week, and then you started inviting guests on, and you realized you could cover 10 times the material chatting with somebody. And then you
And
move
provide
on
a
to the
place for
next one.
people to hang out because you know you couldn't premiere
Yeah.
videos before. You know, I
That's
would have been
right. I don't
definitely
even know
doing
how to
that.
premiere a video, so I should figure out. I want to put this out tomorrow because it's Sunday and we've got nothing coming out from any of our community channels tomorrow.
Hmm.
So I have
Yeah,
to
do
figure
that.
out how to premiere it.
Yeah, it's under when I think it's under like where it says public or private. I think you can schedule it or something. It's right there. It's you'll see it and it says premiere, and then once you put it on premiere, then you can set the day and time that you want it to premiere. So it's right on that very first screen. Well, you're on the phone though, right?
On the
I'm
phone.
not sure. I need to look on YouTube Studio because I didn't even know there was a YouTube Studio app
I got the
until
YouTube Studio app. I
you
always do
told me about
editing
it.
in there. Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you told me about it, I'm like, oh, that's why I can't ever find anything for my app. I had the regular YouTube app all this time. I mean, quite literally, I just got it like a month ago. I just figure I have to go to my
I'm
computer to
so
do
proud
anything.
that I actually taught you something because you
Yeah.
give me all my tech stuff, and occasionally Michelle's opinions pops in and pushes me in the right direction too. So I'm glad to have shared. I think my nephew Ty, who's on YouTube, sent that to me, and then he sent something called TubeBuddy, but it's really about statistics. So you have to be interested in where you rank and how your video's doing. And most of us, you and I, would just do our videos and let them fly by the seat of their pants and kind of forget about them. You know,
Yeah.
we figure the right people will get to them.
Yeah, and if I monetize anything, it's like after the fact. It's not like, I mean, nobody ever has to wait for an ad to hop into the live stream because it's kind of like if you're wanting to get in there right away and then you got to sit through an ad, it's just kind of annoying. So by
I
default,
monetize
it's
some
off.
stuff,
So.
some stuff I don't. I've not drawn the money down yet, so I must have a little pool of money sitting there. I'm going to draw it down eventually and get something for my studio, the dining room.
Yeah. Well, it's not
Green
ad
screen.
revenue. It's super chat that I make money from. Not the ad is nothing. You know, the ad revenue is nothing really. So okay. So did we have a topic?
We do not.
Um,
And I'm going to try the quarter breathing again. I've been reading more about it, the Buddhic breath. It's called squared. And you breathe.
it's like quantum pause from
It's
the
the quantum
Wingmakers, right?
pause. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
3 minutes in, 3 minutes. Oh my God, a fish. Three
I
seconds
don't think I
in,
can make it. 12
hold
minutes.
for 3 seconds. Everybody would pass out. 3 seconds out, hold for 3 seconds, and you do it. That's 4, and you do it 3 times.
Yeah.
And it's
So the full
something,
cycle's 12 seconds then.
and it's
Three,
supposed to
three, three.
connect your 4 bodies. And I'm like, 4 bodies? I'm thinking Trinity 3. And it's your etheric body, which is thinking, your astral body, which is emotions, your physical body, which is matter, and what's the 4th body? Your spirit body, which is soul.
Mm,
So we do have 4 bodies. I always think of Trinity. I always think, the magic number is 3.
right. Mind, body, and soul, or whatever. So,
But we have emotions. Mind and emotions are completely separate. Astral is separate from etheric. So I guessed on the Eastern tradition, they've added an extra layer.
it's all new to me. I just know about the one. It's all crammed in there.
It's all crammed in there, unless you're doing your telepathy and going woo out to the universe, right?
Yeah. That's crazy because it seems like the more I think about it, it's like as without so within, or as above so below.
Yeah,
They
it's
say.
above, so below.
So it's like you go inside to get outside, or whatever, and
Yeah,
it's like
and you
when you go
control the
inside,
universe from inside. Look
when
inside.
everybody's
Change it there.
connected inside. So
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
That's Hermetic law. That's Hermeticism. And that's attributed to ancient Greek or ancient Egyptian. There's an argument in where Hermeticism came from. And people say Hermes was Thoth, was Hermes Trismegistus, which is Hermes three times great. A lot of scholarly argument, and I don't care. It's like round earth, flat earth. Although I saw a really good round earth video that I'm going to send you later, because after I watched it, I'm like, yeah, sorry guys, I think the earth is round, but I'm not going to say that publicly, right? Get a lot of flack. I'll say it here. I'm not going to say it on my channel and get a lot of flack.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Look here, just throw a hot potato in my lap here.
I saw that it was round last night, you guys.
It's round to me too, like the way I
perceive it.
It was
a really good video.
But I can see why flat Earth people think it's flat too.
I do too. So I just sat on the fence with them and went, I'm not going to judge you. And you know what? I'm still not going to judge them. If I decide that the Earth is round for me and it's all a hologram, so it's whatever I say it is. Yeah, so it doesn't matter, right? I'm not going to judge them for wanting it flat or thinking of it flat. Or
creating their Earth as flat.
It's kind of cool that way. So yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with
mine's heart-shaped. Somebody sent me a cool little graphic, a heart-shaped.
Was it the hands one with the Earth holding hands in a heart? Was it that one off of
Maybe so, yeah. I can't remember that.
I really like that one.
Yeah.
I haven't came up with a reason to use it yet, though.
Somebody's saying the earthquake. So we try to do sessions that don't expire, so to speak, so that we can leave them up there and we can continue to focus. So if you think you can frame it in a way,
I think I can. I think I can frame it in a way. I mean, first of all,
works for this earthquake
where there've been a lot of people homeless and hurt. Have there been? Am I missing news on like this is a disaster?
I checked on Otsko, and I haven't.
I just watched Dutch Sense.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying that the earthquakes need to move inland now to relieve the pressure on that plate for plate tectonics.
Yeah. So it's probably within a day or two, he's probably projected something here in Oklahoma because the last one. Yeah.
Yep. And he said he needs, hopefully it'll move inland just to relieve that pressure. And that's what needs to happen.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Sherry. Yeah, that the Earth, she creates an eyeball-shaped Earth.
Sherry, my video mentions your eyeball Earth. I did that just for you.
The one you're about to upload?
Yes, the one I'm going to upload. And then you're going to get really mad at me because I've got a tiny little quirky David Wilcox snippet in there. So I made amends by mentioning your eyeball Earth for sure.
Awesome. She'll appreciate that.
I did Jason Sather. I got clips from him. I got Greer. I got Reagan. I got JFK. I got Trump. It's all about contact, and it's all about, do aliens love us, or do we need to fight them? It's all about.
Well, who do you got coming on this next Wednesday? Do you have anybody scheduled?
I have nobody. Sherry said she was going to come on. Hey, overprotected Bella, can you come on next Wednesday? She might be working. Oh, actually,
I wish I had contact and I could come on.
Next step, I'm actually I'm going to take a week off. I'm going to take a week off and do something the following Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
And I've done 6, and I'm just going to take 1 week off and then do another one. So I will email Sherry because she said she'd come on. Okay. Anybody else out there want to talk aliens? I think Marianne commented in the last video I should go on and talk about my experience. Yes, you should. You just have to email me.
What about Dustin? Didn't he have some?
Dustin's coming on, but when he's ready, maybe alone or with his wife. He said he had some internet issues and work. He's working like 50 hours a week. So his is really a time thing. Healthy aging, tips from an old lady. My sister's coming on. But she's got a head cold now that she's getting out of her system, so she doesn't want to come on with a head cold.
I understand that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, she's saying she can. She's saying she can. I don't know if it's this week or next week.
Yeah, let's do next week.
So she might. I don't know.
Not this week. Let's do next week. I'll email her. We shoot stuff.
She might work. Her schedule
is all over the place. Isn't it?
She works herself
is Sherry coming? Did Sherry get the information yet about Isetti? Is she coming?
I don't. Maybe? I know she was mentioning if she can, her friend Daniel is going to be there, and she was going to camp with him. So I don't know. I don't know if it's. I think she's still working on that.
Yeah, Taylor's still working on it.
Yeah. And if like T. Taylor's close enough, if you're close enough in the area and you can't stay the whole thing, just show up for a day or two, even that, or drive out for the day
Yeah.
if it's drive distance.
Yeah,
It's an all
definitely.
day thing.
Yeah, we're going to be there Thursday late afternoon, and we have to leave early Sunday morning for flights.
Hmm. And
Like,
then they can just reserve. They can reserve. It's $10 if you're just driving there and get in. Is it 10 per person or per
I think
car?
it's 10 per person if you're coming in for the evening watch. It's like a little
Okay.
donation to a SETI ranch.
Right, but I think it would be all day. I think they could come in as
Oh, yeah.
probably first thing in the morning and stay all day until
Yeah.
dark, and then drive back home if they're just wanting to do a 1 day thing. So
And you can see a lot of helicopters. I've been watching James's videos of daytime UFOs, but I gotta say, a lot of those nighttime UFOs, I'm wondering if there are a lot of TR-3Bs. I wonder if there are a lot of black triangles. And I was talking to somebody who's researched black triangles who thinks, God, I wish I could know who I was talking to about this, who thinks that some of them are ours and some of them are visitors, and that we were just fortunate enough to get our hands on a crashed one to back engineer it.
yeah, you and Natasha were talking about that on Wednesday.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, there's
probably
like,
a mixture, I would think too.
yeah, there's conflicting information that shows they are ours and they aren't ours,
Right.
especially the ones that are in front of the sun. It's like, unless those are fake videos that they're showing with TR-3Bs flying past the sun, that would be so hot.
Yeah, I haven't seen those.
They're pretty
But it's
couple years
so freaking far away though that if they were close to the sun, you wouldn't even see them.
exactly.
So they would have to be somewhere in between, but closer to us.
Yeah,
Because
closer to
Earth,
us.
have you seen where they'll have like a little bitty circle showing you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
and show you
front
how
of the
big it is.
moon, you'll see it in front of the moon. You'll see it from the ISS. So I
So
don't know. So
it's
I don't
like
know if some of those things flashing the lights are TR-3Bs, and are some ours and are some alien, and what alien family lives in Mount Adams, because it's some kind of a base, because it has a lot of military helicopters buzzing it. So I believe it's a base.
Interesting.
And it's right there, right in front of the SETI. Is that this, like, it's probably an old volcano, right? Because it's just one mountain, Mount Adams.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's like where the first sightings came from, were Mount Adams, though, in the very beginning.
It's in the
The
middle
other
of
thing
nowhere.
that's
It's in the middle of the wilderness. There's a little town there called Trout Lake, but
yeah,
there's nothing around to get to anything. You have to drive like 30 miles, which isn't
and it's
far.
supposed to be highly. It's like I forgot. I think it was in one of Gilliland's videos where what they were saying how the magnetism in the area is kind of
High.
off the chart, so it makes it to where it makes it easier for them to sort of jump dimensions and phase into ours like a portal or a doorway. And
Possibly.
then they've had all these other weird things happen, like
Oh
the
yeah, like
orbs.
Yeti.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just easier for them to phase in and out of. I don't really know how it
Well,
works. But
with
it
what's
makes
going
sense,
on
though.
in the triangle, they think that could be sunk in Atlantis, or that could be an alien base. These strange magnetisms seem to go along with a lot of alien aircraft. But then I saw a video that showed they go over the magnetism to power up, and then they fly off. They're like borrowing Earth electromagnetism to keep their energy stores high.
Yeah, I love the powering up. That looks so cool, and everybody's like, "Woo!" So I can't wait for
It's like Disneyland for alien watchers. I hope my sister can go. We'll see. We'll see if she wants to go, and if she can go, if she's going to camp with her grandson, because they got the tent and all that stuff already. They got all the stuff they need to camp.
And she doesn't have as far to go. She's not.
No,
all the
she's
way.
in Boulder, but it's pretty
Yeah.
far still from Boulder.
Yeah, it's a lot closer than you are, though.
It's a lot closer than
me.
Florida.
Yeah, it's a lot closer than me too. Yeah, I want to say that's like. I want to say it's probably like over 2,000. Didn't we think it was? What did we say it was from coast to coast?
I don't know. We got stuck with Google Earth said 2,600 miles, and I remember 3,600. So nobody else remembers it being that much, but that was when I was a kid. I feel like United States has lost 1,000 miles. That's a lot.
So maybe it shrunk and moved west, and maybe South America never moved.
I don't know. Everybody's saying that land is shrinking and land is popping up in different places where it wasn't. And Italy is kicking the ball now. The boot is practically touching Sicily, right?
That's interesting, huh?
That's
And
very
the map picture, that artwork I did, there was dozens and dozens of islands that weren't there that
Well,
are
maybe
now
you
there.
should pull that out over a modern Google Earth and we'll see what's happened. I don't know if you can do it live, and we can take a look at each part of the globe according to your map overlaying Google Earth. And we can
I have that hidden layer in there, so I can actually open the actual art file and look at it, So that's pretty cool because it gets automatically updated.
Oh, I'd love to see that live. As long as it automatically updates. With your rendering, your artistic rendering, as long as the AI doesn't get a hold of it and squish it the way it wants it.
Well, I don't think it can. I don't know. It's been posted since 2012 and it hasn't been affected. Okay. But the map underneath has. So yeah, we should pull it up sometime. We can look at different things, and now that we have a crowd that can chime in and say.
I can say that Tampa Bay has changed. It's shrunk. All the water's gone. It's like squished with a big what's that larynx? That little thing that dips down in the back of the neck. It has a massive one of those right through the middle of the bay now. It's weird looking.
Let's see.
What?
So do you want to?
Oh yeah. So can we do earthquake relief, but do it for?
How about peaceful earth changes?
Yeah.
Because we want the earth changes to come. We're not trying to stop the earth changes. We just want people to remain safe. So that they'll happen in a way that because they say that if you have a bunch of smaller earthquakes, that's a lot softer, than one big one. Yeah. Right, it lets off the pressure. Yeah, exactly.
So Dutch Sense, who is such an earthquake expert.
Oh, isn't he? He's awesome, man.
Amazing. I think he's psychically tied to earthquakes, and he just knows where they're going to happen. And he's saying we need a bunch of little ones now inland to relieve the pressure on the California coast, because he said it's still under pressure.
Now, we had that big earthquake. Well, I say big. I think it was like 5 or 6 or something here a couple of years ago, and it was the first time I ever felt anything, and it was so alarming, when you feel that, and it feels like I thought somebody had tied a chain to. I was living out of a motel at the time, and it felt like somebody had tied a chain to the building and was trying to take off and just shaking the whole thing, and it knocked the soda can off, and we went, and the pool was like moving, like somebody scooted a bowl of milk on the table, and it was just moving in one big
sloshing.
Yeah. So when I came across Dutch Sense, I found the pictures because I had taken a selfie next to the news talking about the earthquake. And so I found the date on that. And I went back to see if Dutch Sense forecasted it. Sure enough, he had.
He did,
He had forecasted it like a day or two before it happened. So if I had been watching him, I would have known.
You would have known. He forecasts a lot of them based on where the ones are today, shows him where the ones are coming.
Yeah. Yep, the deep earthquake locations will follow those arrows. I mean, he's got it down to a science.
He's got it down to a science, but I think the GSME, whatever it's called, that doesn't like him, they could predict it too, but they don't. And there's a whole bunch of reasons why they don't. They don't want to create panic, tourism. You can't hit LA and say, hey guys, a big earthquake's heading your way, or Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And then it's hit with, tourism goes down and nobody knows when they can go again. There's a bit of panic. So I think he gives the information as if it should be freely available, and the official people just don't like it.
To me, he is more reliable than the meteorologist on my television. So.
That is just true.
Well, they're not on my television, but
That is true. And I'm really enjoying Tamitha Skov.
Yeah.
Skov.
Yeah.
She does good sun weather. She does just the sun.
Yeah. Really exciting stuff. All right. So.
Okay. So I will do my best, guys, to do the earthquake. Great idea. And just to make it fresh so that the video can stand. And people can do this meditation in a year if they want to.
So not only are we doing, for people's safety, but we're also intending for the earth changes to come because we want them. We just want them to be peaceful.
And we don't want to rush them, though, because a lot of people are saying now that a solar flare would be the rainbow cloud. That big energy hit that's scheduled to hit the Earth has hit the Earth before. And it's, it could possibly be a huge solar flare, a big burst of cosmic sun radiation. And of course, we don't want to speed that up, not until everybody's ready, the Earth is ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah, divine timing.
Divine timing, instead of saying, bring it on today. Oops, I didn't really mean that. When they say, it might not just be a rainbow. Coming straight from the sun, boom.
Like all the flooding and mudslides when we had the fires we
Yep.
intended for. So.
We're all going, rain, rain, please, rain on California. Next morning, it was like, torrential rains have caused mudslides everywhere. We're like, did we do that? It felt like it because we, there were hundreds of us. We were joining a national effort, weren't we? Like somebody organized it for the country or the world.
And they did one afterwards. I think after one of our shows, they said, hey, afterwards at 11 o'clock or whatever it was. So, yeah.
I think that's the one we did. I think you and I joined that one, and a bunch of people from our show joined that one too.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Got to be careful. Like, oops.
My dad, my dad, my mom, my grandma used to say, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it, so be specific.
Yeah.
And don't rush things. Just let things come. And what did you say? Divine timing. My sister's got a good one. When we intend for things to go back into their natural order. What a way to heal, to say, let it go back to its natural, original order, what it should have done, should have been.
That's perfect because, the human body will heal if it's got everything working naturally. It's,
natural divine order.
Absolutely.
Okay, guys. So get comfy. I'm going to try to do that squared breathing again, the Buddhist breath, to join up all levels of your body, etheric, astral, physical. I actually hit my little thingy and it didn't do anything. There we go. And spiritual, right? Physical, etheric, astral, which is emotional, and spiritual, which is your soul. So we're going to do the cornered, the four corner breath, or the breath squared. So when you're ready, just take a nice, deep, relaxing breath in, get comfortable, hold it and exhale. And as you exhale, just imagine all of your muscles just turning into warm butter, just relaxing and letting go. And another deep, relaxing breath in when you're ready. And now let go of any tension or stress held anywhere in your body. And finally, take a third deep, relaxing breath in. Hold it, really extend your tummy with that breath. And exhale from your tummy, first moving up all the way into the top of your lungs. And now as we breathe in through the heart center or the heart chakra, which is the heart maths breath, if you study them, they're available online. Great books and CDs, programs. We're going to take that breath in and we're going to breathe in for a count of 3. We're going to hold for a count of 3. We're going to exhale for a count of 3. And we're going to hold for a count of 3. Go ahead and breathe in a color this time through your heart center for a count of 3. As you hold for a count of 3, let that color fill your entire body up inside and out. As you exhale that color back out for a count of 3, hold for a count of 3. And one more time, breathe into a count of 3 that's comfortable with the light. Hold it for a count of 3, shoot it up your chakras, shoot it down your chakras. Exhale for a count of 3, and then hold for a count of 3. And now would be a good time to send down a grounding cord, if you haven't done it already, from your root chakra all the way down through the building that you're in, through the outside crusty layer of the earth, through the layers just under that. Let it go deeper and deeper and deeper through all the layers of the earth until your cord of light reaches the center of the earth, the core, the heart, and let it shoot out in all directions like the roots of a tree, grounding you securely to your Mother Earth, your nurturing, life-giving Mother Earth. And now we're going to hold hands etherically and astrally, and we're going to imagine being in a peaceful, beautiful place. Just like if you can't see it visually or hear it or see the colors associated with it, just imagine that you're in a peaceful, beautiful place. It can be completely in your imagination, or it can be a real place on the earth or off the earth. If you astral project and OBEs, it can be real, a place that you go to when you meditate. And now that we're feeling connected and relaxed and happy, and we've connected our brain waves to our heart waves, let us all imagine and visualize and hear, make it as real as possible, the earth releasing any stress, any tension. Let's imagine the earth releasing it gently in all different places around the world. If you see a round world, you can also release those tensions if you see it flat or an eye or a dome or another shape. And we can see that there's like major plates that move around that occasionally bash into each other and they cause bigger earthquakes rather than little ones. Let's just see that happening in a safe, natural, and gentle way so that all the life around it, human and animal, plant and mineral, can really work with the earth while it's relieving any tension, any pressures, and keeping the volcanoes at a safe level, but letting off steam, keeping the earthquakes moving around the globe like they do daily, and again, letting off pressure. And let's just send a bunch of love from your heart and love from your mind. Focus those two together like a laser. Perhaps make it a green color, like an emerald green, an earth green, an Archangel Raphael green, and send that color all over the earth with love. And now let's let it bathe in the green, which is very healing and loving. And let's slowly change that color to pink. Pink or peach or salmon. Again, a really loving, gentle color that reminds us of harmony and ease. And let's all ask that the earth be in all directions of time, backwards, forwards, up, down, and present, in a peaceful, gentle state, in its natural order, just the way it's supposed to be, and doing what it's supposed to do. And let's just hold these images and thoughts and requests and prayers for 3 minutes. And as you start to come back and gently move different parts of your body around and breathe more naturally through your nose or your mouth, let's just thank the earth for all of her or its life supporting love and nurturing that we receive from the earth every moment of every day, whether it's her nature, her animals, her vegetation, the mountains, the streams, the air, the clouds, everything. Every part of the earth is so beautiful. Let's just appreciate it and then release our grounding cords together into the earth where they quickly disappear. Got it.
There we go.
Awesome. That 3 minutes went fast for me. Usually it feels like 10 minutes, but it went fast.
Very nice.
I feel a strong connection too in the 3 minutes of silence. I'm like thinking of all the people just holding the silence and the thoughts together, wishing the same things at the same time. And I feel like that's like super powerful.
I couldn't agree more. I do too.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Really refreshing and re-energizing of ourselves as well. It's very nurturing to you guys who do this. You know, that leaky bucket. Maybe someday we should review the leaky bucket and what happens when you do this.
Yeah, that would be a good topic. We should go over some of the Lynne McTaggart stuff
Yeah,
for those who are just hopping in.
We should review it because we haven't done it in like 6 months.
Right.
Maybe we have some new people who are doing it and loving it and not realizing how much people get out of it who actually do it.
Yeah, and I do have her book, her link down below. So if you guys want to look more into it, it's a fascinating read.
It's a great book.
Tons of great information in there.
Power of 8.
Yeah, especially if you like David Wilcock and you like,
Greg Braden.
The balance between, this very scientific, but, not afraid to go into the woo-woo territory either, because it's all connected,
It's all connected, cosmic and quantum at the same time.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Well, we should probably go for your son, give him some internet time, and we're going to be back next week, but I'm going to take Wednesday off, and I will talk to my sister and Sherry and anyone else out there who wants to come on and share their personal contact stories.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much, Eileen, and thank you guys for being here and everybody watching later, because time is an illusion, so join in that whole retro causality thing. If you're doing this later, it's still combined, and it's a wonderful thing. Do you know who did that study you mentioned before we go? The one where they, the one I'm talking about, where they...
I can find it for you. Did you want the one where they were clicking in a Faraday box, or where the people were healed from AIDS in the past?
Exactly. That's the one I want.
The healing one. I'll find it for you for next week.
Yeah. I'd like to look at that.
I think it was Cynthia Sue Larson's book called Quantum Jumps, which I have loaned out to a neighbor though, but I might have trouble finding it. Do you have her Quantum Jumps book?
No, I don't think so.
I'll find it.
It's an ebook.
I'll find it somewhere. It's going to be in Lynne McTaggart's The Field, but that's packed with studies. It's harder to find studies in her book.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Lots of love to you guys. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
If you'd like to support the work I do, go to paypal.me/UOTF. Thanks.